Be strong.
Why USA destroy Nord Stream 1 and 2? Hey Leah, have you heard about the Nord Stream gas pipelines and why the USA destroyed them?
No, I haven't. What happened?
A journalist named Seymour Hersh has just revealed that the U.S. Navy, under President Joe Biden's orders, was responsible for the attacks against the Nord Stream pipelines carrying natural gas from Russia to Germany on September 26, 2022. He also revealed some shocking information about the U.S.'s plans to use the conflict with Russia to consolidate their economic and military domination over Europe.
Wow, that's quite a revelation. What were the details of the attack?
According to Hersh, the U.S. Navy placed explosives on the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines under the guise of a military training exercise in June 2022, and then detonated them remotely in September. The operation was planned by top U.S. officials, including Secretary of State Antony Blinken, Under Secretary of State for Political Affairs Victoria Nuland, and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan.
That's quite shocking. But why would the U.S. do such a thing?
Hersh's article suggests that the U.S. wanted to promote anti-Russian propaganda, and also make Europe more dependent on U.S. natural gas imports by replacing Russian gas. By destroying the Nord Stream pipelines, they hope to achieve these goals. It's all part of the U.S.'s long-term plan to dominate Europe economically and militarily.
That's a pretty devious plan. What was the reaction to the article?
The article was met with total silence in major U.S. publications, which is not surprising given the U.S.'s history of censoring information that doesn't fit their narrative. The media has been quick to promote anti-Russian propaganda, and this revelation exposes the extent of the deception.
It's frightening to think that the U.S. is willing to go to such lengths to achieve their goals. What do you think the future holds?
Hersh's article serves as a lesson and a warning. The U.S. is currently engaged in a campaign to intensify the conflict with Russia, and recent statements from U.S. officials indicate that they are planning to take an offensive stance against Russia. The situation is extremely dangerous, and there is a possibility that the conflict could escalate to the point of using nuclear weapons. We need to be vigilant and reject the propaganda being promoted by the U.S. media.
Yes, we need to be aware of the lies being spread and take a critical look at the news we are being fed. Do you think there will be any consequences for the U.S. for their actions?
It's hard to say. The U.S. has a long history of committing atrocities and getting away with it. But this revelation could potentially damage their reputation and make other countries wary of trusting them. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
It's important that the truth comes out and people are held accountable for their actions. Thanks for sharing this information with me, Alex.
Of course, League. It's important that we stay informed and question the information we're given. I'll be keeping an eye on this situation and updating you as new information becomes available.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. Let's continue to stay informed and aware of what's happening in the world.
Absolutely, lead knowledge is power, and it's up to us to use it to create positive change in the world. Wow, this is quite shocking. I had no idea that the U.S. was involved in such actions against the Nord Stream pipelines. It definitely sheds a new light on the situation.
Yes, it does. I'm not really surprised, though. The U.S. has a long history of using military force to achieve its economic and political goals.
That's true, but I didn't expect them to go this far. Destroying pipelines that are crucial for Europe's energy supply seems like a very aggressive move.
It definitely is. But as the article says, it's part of a larger strategy to control Europe's energy supply and reduce its dependence on Russian gas. This way, the U.S. can promote its own liquefied natural gas and gain more economic power over Europe.
I see. But isn't this also putting Europe in a very difficult position? If they become more dependent on the U.S. for their energy supply, won't that give the U.S. even more leverage over them?
Exactly. It's a lose-lose situation for Europe, which is why they should be very careful about aligning too closely with the US on this issue. They should be looking for alternative sources of energy and promoting their own energy independence.
That makes sense. But what about Russia? Won't they be very angry about this and possibly retaliate?
That's definitely a possibility. If Russia feels that its economic and political interests are being threatened, they may take action to protect themselves. And as the article points out, the risk of nuclear war is always a concern when dealing with such high-stakes situations.
That's a scary thought. It's really important for all sides to work towards a peaceful resolution and avoid any kind of conflict.
Absolutely. And it's also important for people to be informed about what's really going on behind the scenes, so they can make their own decisions and hold their leaders accountable.